Train your mind to respond, not react. A stoic and practical guide for modern life. Picture this. You're in a heated conversation. Someone says something that slices through your patience like a blade. Your body tenses, your heart quickens. A dozen words, sharp, defensive, maybe even cruel, line up, ready to launch. And then, nothing. You take a breath. You pause. You choose your next move with precision instead of emotion. That, right there, is the difference between reacting and responding. It might seem like a small shift, just a couple of seconds, a bit of breathing space, but it's the kind of shift that can change relationships, career paths, and your overall sense of peace. This is not about suppressing emotion or pretending you're unaffected by life's curveballs. It's about reclaiming your ability to act from a place of clarity rather than chaos. This philosophy has ancient roots. The Stoics, think Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, built an entire framework for living well around this very idea. You can't control the external world, but you can control your interpretation of it and how you choose to engage. And in our modern, hyper-reactive world of instant messages, social media outrage, and constant sensory assault, this skill is no longer just nice to have. It's survival. Today, I'll take you through the Stoic foundation for responding instead of reacting, mix it with modern psychology, layer in my own lived experience, and give you practical, real-world techniques to train your mind. By the end, you won't just understand this concept, you'll be equipped to apply it in traffic jams, workplace conflicts, family arguments, and even in the private battles inside your own head. Chapter 1. The cost of a knee-jerk reaction. Reactions are fast, they're primal, they're wired into us for survival. After all, when early humans saw a predator, reacting quickly could mean the difference between life and death. But in the context of your modern office, a family dinner, or a boardroom presentation, that same hardwired reflex often does more harm than good. I've lived this truth more times than I'd like to admit. Years ago, I received a blunt, borderline insulting email from a colleague. Without thinking, I hammered out a response just as cutting. I hit send. 10 minutes later, I regretted it. The fallout wasn't just awkward, it permanently shifted the working relationship. That one impulsive action cost me trust, respect, and ease of collaboration. When we react, we're letting emotions drive without a map. Reactions often escalate conflicts, damage trust, create lasting regret, make us seem volatile or unpredictable. The Stoics saw this clearly. They believed that while you can't dictate the events that unfold around you, you have absolute sovereignty over your response. That sovereignty is where your dignity, peace, and personal power live. Chapter 2. Responding. The art of deliberate action. Responding is slower, intentionally so. It's thoughtful. It's measured. A response considers context, desired outcome, and alignment with your values. If reaction is reflex, response is choice. Take a heated disagreement with a friend. Your initial impulse might be to match their tone, push your point harder, or throw in an unrelated grievance just to win. But a response involves pausing to think, what's my actual goal here? Do I want to preserve this friendship? Is being right more important than being respectful? The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature. Not nature in the sense of forests and rivers, but in the sense of human rationality. They believed humans are at their best when using reason to guide behavior rather than letting passions run wild. Chapter 3. The pause. Finding the space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That space is the battlefield where reactions are tamed and responses are born. The Stoics didn't frame it in Frankl's exact words, but their teachings align perfectly. Practical exercise. The next time something irritates you, a snide comment, a frustrating email, don't act immediately. Literally stop moving. Take one deep breath in through your nose, hold for 2 seconds, and exhale slowly. Ask yourself, if I respond this way, will it help or harm? Will I be glad I chose this tomorrow? Over time, this pause becomes second nature. In my own life, it's been the single most transformative habit I've developed. It hasn't made me emotionless, it's made me free. Chapter 4. Self-awareness. The inner compass. Self-awareness is the root system that keeps the tree of response standing strong. Without it, you won't even recognize that you're reacting until it's too late. The Stoics practiced daily introspection, and Marcus Aurelius kept a journal, not to publish, but to reflect on his own behavior, his failures, and how he could do better. That's self-awareness in action. Modern application. Set reminders during the day to check in with yourself. What am I feeling right now? Why? Label emotions precisely. Don't just say I'm upset. Are you frustrated? Embarrassed? Disappointed? Naming emotions accurately gives you more control over them. I once found myself irritable for days without understanding why. By journaling, I realized it stemmed from a single unresolved work issue. Naming it reduced its power, and I could address it directly rather than letting it leak into every interaction. Chapter 5, Reframing, Changing the Narrative. Reframing isn't about sugarcoating reality. It's about seeing a situation from a perspective that serves you rather than sabotages you. The Stoics were masters of reframing. When faced with hardship, they saw it as a chance to practice virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In my own career, I once faced a project failure that at first felt humiliating, but reframing it as a rare chance to dissect what went wrong and to develop stronger systems turned a defeat into an education that's still paying off. Chapter 6, Control. The Stoic filter Epictetus split life into two categories. Things within our control, our opinions, intentions, actions. Things beyond our control, the weather, other people's choices, the past. Reacting often means fighting battles in category 2. Responding means focusing exclusively on category 1. I can't control whether a client is in a bad mood. I can control how I communicate, how I prepare, and whether I let their mood infect mine. The difference in energy, productivity, and peace is enormous. Chapter 7, Reflection, Learning from the Day. At night, Seneca would review the day. When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and measure my deeds and words. I've adapted this ritual. Before bed, I ask, where did I react today? Why? What could I have done differently? Where did I respond well? How can I repeat that? This habit turns every day into a training ground for better choices. Chapter 8, Mindfulness, the Muscle of Presence. Mindfulness is often marketed as stress relief, but it's also the foundation for response. You can't pause, reframe, or filter without first noticing the moment as it's unfolding. Practical methods, breath meditation, 5 minutes a day focusing only on the inhale and exhale. Body scan, bringing awareness to each part of your body, noticing tension without judgment. Mindful observation, doing a daily activity, washing dishes, walking, as if it's the most important thing in the world. Mindfulness makes you less likely to be hijacked by sudden emotion because you've trained yourself to stay grounded. Chapter 9, Responding in the Real World. Theory is useless if it can't survive reality. Here's how I've applied these principles in different contexts. Workplace. Before, I jump into defensive explanations when challenged. After, I pause, ask clarifying questions, and respond only after understanding the full picture. Results: fewer misunderstandings, more respect. Relationships. Before, I'd meet irritation with irritation. After, I recognize my partner's bad day as an external factor and respond with patience rather than mirroring frustration. Crisis situations. Before, panic would narrow my thinking. After, slowing down in the initial moments keeps my problem-solving abilities intact. Chapter 10, The Long-Term Payoff. Choosing to respond over reacting preserves mental energy, improves relationships, enhances leadership credibility, builds resilience, and the greatest reward? Inner peace. A calm mind isn't easily shaken. Life still throws storms your way, but you navigate them like a skilled sailor rather than being tossed around helplessly. Every moment presents a fork in the road, reaction or response. One is driven by impulse, the other by intention. One is about losing control, the other about owning your life. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They felt anger, fear, and frustration. The difference was that they had trained their minds to be the master, not the servant of those emotions. You can do the same. Starting today, practice the pause. Build the habit of self-awareness. Reframe adversity. Focus on what you can control. Reflect nightly. And above all, remember, you are not your first thought. You are your chosen action.